It's Good News Week.
Sharing food is not a crime. Welcome back to Good News Next Week, everybody. I'm James Evan Pilato from MediaMonarchy.com with another look at some of the ways that we are winning and solutions-oriented stories. We've got that story, plus bad things do happen to bad people. But first, CBD shown to help abnormal brain activity associated with psychosis. And as we seem to always note, it wouldn't be a Good News Next Week episode without a little bit of weed world order news. The actual study is called Effect of Cannabidiol on Medial Temporal Midbrain and Striatal Dysfunction in People at High Clinical Risk of Psychosis. These results suggest that cannabidiol may normalize dysfunction in these brain regions which are critically implicated in psychosis, and this may underlie its therapeutic effects in psychosis. I believe you can actually download that research. It is not behind the paywall. So add it to the stack of all the things that the magical plant can do, and remember, it is indeed a plant. And that's the quick first story to get us in on this Good News Next Week episode. Our second story, much like I guess I did on the most recent episode of New World Next Week, where I went over 3 scary patents, let's go over 3 perhaps Schadenfreude examples of shameful joy where bad things do happen to good people and we're kind of happy about it. 44% of Americans aged 18 to 27 have deleted their Facebook app this year, and the ones that aren't deleting it are at least taking a closer look at their so-called privacy settings. Our second bit of shameful joy, this is a good one. There's no shame in this one whatsoever. There's no shame in any of these stories. These are all great. We should dance around the bowl for all 3 of these stories. People are deleting the Facebook app. Spain cancels sale of 400 laser-guided bombs to Saudi Arabia. Laser-guided bombs to Saudi is over concerns that, of course, they probably would be used to kill little kids in Yemen. The Saudi-Spanish deal was actually signed in 2015 under the previous administration, so now the current administration plans to return $10.6 million paid by Saudi Arabia as part of the deal. Take your money, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Our third bit of just straight up joy. Nike and the swastika may have totally regained their lost market share after that most recent psychological operation, but we can still gloat over this one. Bayer stock plummets 32% in 3 months after its roundup of Monsanto, and you won't really see any corporate media reporting this because that's their main advertisers. If you're unfortunate enough to watch any commercial garbage television, you'll see it's just pharmaceutical commercial after pharmaceutical commercial. So of course, the mainstream isn't really going to talk about that kind of stuff because that's going to hurt their bottom line from folks like Bayer and the rest of the big pharma gang. That third story there about Bayer stock, which I think, again, shows a more positive long-term trend, whereas the whole Nike story went up, blew up, and came back down, and, of course, no big lasting effect. Again, if I need to tell you a reason to boycott Nike, then you might have to go back to Media Monarchy 101. Our third and final story on this Good News Next Week episode, federal court rules First Amendment protects sharing food with homeless people in a colorful decision, so writes Forbes. And again, everything we say and play always included down in the show notes, so you can continue the research for yourself. In a colorful decision that managed to invoke the Boston Tea Party, Lady Macbeth, and of course Jesus of Nazareth, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that feeding the homeless is expressly protected. Quote, expressive conduct protected by the First Amendment, end quote. The decision revives a challenge brought by a chapter of Food Not Bombs, which sued Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for requiring a permit to share food in public parks. Thanks to that city's ordinance, Fort Lauderdale has become infamous for cracking down on compassion. In 2014, cops arrested a 90-year-old man and 2 ministers trying to share food with the homeless. Of course, makes for fantastic bits of coverage. Pictures, I mean. Nathan Pym, a member of the Fort Lauderdale Food Not Bombs and a plaintiff in the case, said in a statement, quote, "We are very pleased with this ruling and we look forward to continuing. We hope we are one step closer to something we fought for over many years, simply being able to help people without being threatened with arrest." So I think those are all pretty good examples of some solutions-oriented stories and some good news stories. You can submit your ideas for inclusion on these Good News episodes using hashtag Good News Next Week. And of course, you can always reach out to me at james@MediaMonarchy.com. And of course, we'd love to see you in the Media Monarchy community. And you can join us via Patreon or MediaMonarchy.com/join. That's Good News Next Week, episode 69, dudes. I'm James Evan Pilato from MediaMonarchy.com. Again, thanking you so much for watching, inviting you to join the Media Monarchy community, and reminding you, as always, like Jello Biafra says, don't hate the media, become the media. Take care.
You're listening to Media Monarchy with James Evan Pilato. Since 2005, Media Monarchy has covered the real news about politics, health, technology and the occult, all remixed with music and media that matters. Go to MediaMonarchy.com/support and become a monthly subscriber so you can help keep independent, non-commercial, alternative media going and growing. Thanks.